Well guys, it's Buck with BTM Scale Models, and we are in a brand new year, 2018. I just wanted to say, hey guys, yes, I'm getting back to making videos, and we will continue work on the AMT 1/1400 scale Enterprise D. Continuing down the line on this for the year. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Kenny Conklin. He's dealt with a tremendous amount of stress in the new year regarding model of the year and some jackwagon that thought that he could put one by and rob everybody out of, you know, something that's been fun and creative. I mean, I joined it last year, and you know, it's just great to see all the builds and all the hard work Kenny and his family put into it to be ruined by something so petty. But with that rant, you know, that guy just doesn't belong in this community. So my rant there on that is over, but I wanted to show you guys what I did get for Christmas. I did a couple of pictures and I posted them, but something my wife got me, and it's really cool, and I've been wanting for a while, is the USS Voyager. She got me the photo etch with it, and this will be later on in the year. I'm not really wanting to get started because this one I'm really I'm going to take some time on. I've been doing some research, and I'm definitely going to be going through HDA Model Works to buy Tenant Controls board and sound effects for this kit to light it. I have a lot of lighting things, but there's certain things that Tenant Controls does that I found out with doing research on the Enterprise D stuff I'm doing. I really like the product he puts out, so yes, I will be saving some money up to drop on Tenant Controls lighting for the Voyager, which with everything, the wiring, the lights, because I always like having extra stuff, it's going to run about $160, but you know, that's part of the game we play here. You know, we want to take those builds up to the next level. We spend the money on it, much to the detriment of our wives. Next, my brother-in-law, or not my brother-in-law, my brother got me the 172 Mobius Cylon Raider, two birds in one box. I will not be lighting these. They're just, you know, I could give it a shot, but I think the cool effect is the Cylon eye, so maybe later down the year, or you know, maybe even next year at Secret Santa on Sci-Fi Fantasy, I can get the 132 scale to go with my other Vipers, which I can light and do all the effects for. But you know, I appreciate this from him. He knows I'm a big Battlestar Galactica fan, so these will look good, and I am actually going to be painting them with my metal clad colors, so give them that real toaster look. My kids got me something really cool, and yes, I am going to go to the nines on this one too. I got the cutaway of the Constellation TOS USS Enterprise. I've been doing some research, and there's a lot of great aftermarket stuff for this and lighting, so as I dig into it, I'm definitely probably going to be lighting this one too, doing things inside with the cutaway, trying to bring it more to life. And my in-laws, my wife's parents, got me the USS Enterprise E. So right now it's going to be a starship building year with a couple of fighters involved, which is really, really awesome. And hold on, there we go, there it is. And then my Sci-Fi Fantasy Secret Santa got me the Y-Wing Bandai 172 Star Wars vehicle bomber, and yes, I'm going to like this one also. I have to start work on it here in the next couple of months. I'm working on getting some aftermarkets for it. There's some photo etch to help enhance the cockpit, because one of my bad habits with space vehicles, starships, fighters, whatever, I like to light it because I think it gives that model life. And so I'm going to be working on that, and then I need to get some things to some masking, and then there's some photo etch to help enhance the model, so I'll be working on that. But With it being the new year, I have started work again on the Enterprise D, and as the video goes along, you'll see where we're starting. I have started working on the lighting, and I will explain that. Currently, I am so, guys, I wish you all a Happy New Year. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Okay, guys, welcome back. Just a quick little update of what's going on. Is I have started working on the lighting on the nacelles. I pre-drilled. I've done all that you've seen in the past videos. What you didn't know is I finished running another layer of primer gray, my main hull color on the inside. Finished scoring out some more Holy for my marker lights, and started testing and running LED strip tape. Some cool things I got from a fellow modeler. His name's Joey Shipman. He has a great site on Facebook that I'm a member of and follow. Joe's Custom Ships and Models, I do believe. Don't quote me on it, but check it out, and I will here a little bit later make sure to get the right Facebook name. But he did offer me, and I bought some of these. This is a resin cast insert for the warp nacelle forward piece, and I'm going to be using these. Now, it did come with the blue resin pieces, and I played around with them, and while I think they're very great and they're very cool, I am going to stick with the clear pieces. When I did the lighting test, I like the effect of it. They're both really cool, but I'm going to go ahead and go with this and keep these resin pieces for a different project I have in mind. Just wanted to let you know where we're at. And guys, I'm going to finish building up this nacelle. I'm going to get it completely wired and show you what we're going to go for, and then as the video goes along, I'm going to take you step by step on what I did on the other nacelle. I know you guys, a lot of you guys know how to do all this, and those that are following me to learn how to do lighting and wiring, I am definitely going to do that step by step for you. But I just wanted to show you where we're at. The other thing that I've done is with Joey, I got some more photo etch, and I've added a little more detail to the saucer section. Now again, I've talked about going 2 steps back to take 1 step forward. I had to actually repaint the saucer. I had to sand out. I had some cracks and stuff in it, so I repainted it. Now, I didn't lose all the windows that I had scratched out, but I did get this done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch out those windows, finish doing light blocking, and then I'm going to put a clear coat. Same thing I had to do on the lower section, the saucer, and I'll go re-scratch out the windows, and then I'll clear coat. And what that clear coat's going to do is help save this base layer of paint. So as I do more work, I'm not scratching it up, and it helps give us a good layer for the decals to sit on. Everything's smoothed out and even. Also, I still need to go through and drill out and decide what I'm going to do for the saucer marker lights. Red and green on the starboard and port side, and then on the bow it's not a flash, it's just a clear white marker light. Doesn't flash, doesn't do any of that. I've been researching, watching the series again, and I really want to add those marker lights to this. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to finish getting this one scaled up and fitted together and all wired. And when we come back, I will show you what that's going to look like, what the finished product's going to look like, and I will show you how to do it. So stay tuned, guys. See you in a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back. So here I've just done the initial lighting and mock-up. I've got everything ran where I want, what I want to do. I wanted to show you guys how it's coming out. So, oh, yeah, batteries. Yep, strobes on both sides. Yeah, I have some light leaks I'm going to take care of, but I wanted to show you what it's going to look like when we get all done. Now, like I said, I got some light leaks from the strobes. I'm gonna go on the back side, take it back apart, and then I'm gonna paint black, to me a black flat over this to help to stop that light leak. But other than that, even without it sealed, I'm very impressed. It hasn't, right around here on the nacelles, definitely the grills, there's hardly any light leaks, so I'm very happy with that. And then let me plug it back in. And then here with the resin on the nacelle, it looks really good. I know this is probably really washing out a little bit on this camera. I'm sorry guys, I don't have any backlighting, but if I turn this back on, you can see where we're at, but I wanted to show you what it looked like in the dark. So I'm gonna keep working on this, work on buttoning it up some more, and I'll get back to you. All right. Okay guys, welcome back. So as you saw, I got the other nacelle all wired up, lighted, and sealed and tested, and I think it turned out really great. So now I'm going to show you guys how I did that. So a few things you're going to need first is what I like to grab. You can order it on Amazon. It's basically AWG24, AWG30 thin wire. You can get it in this spool. And this spool comes with about 7 or 8 different strands, so you can do, multiple colors for your positive and your negative. I also bought a full roll of black because I like to keep my negative black. No issues there. Some of the lighting kits that I bought before will come with wire, like Madman Lighting, Tenant Controls, they provide wire and things for to use. For this nacelle, like I said, I've already drilled out, I pre-drilled out everything, and you want to make sure you light block the back of it. As you can see, I painted it black, and then I painted it the primer gray that I've been using for my primary color for the whole kit. Now this does a couple of things. It does the light blocking, because once you put everything on, you have to tape up if you got to do any touch-ups. But make sure you get stuff drilled out, get everything prepped and ready to go. I still got a little bit to do here, but that's on the back side. I'm not going to worry about that. I just want to show you how to set up the electronics and what I'm using for the nacelle. So I've already glued in for my resin cast bussard. Now you can go to HDA Model Works, you can go to Lighthouse LEDs is a company I use a lot of from them, and you can get these pre-wired with resistors already. Let me bring it up there so you can see. You can get these pre-wired. So I'm using my pre-wired 5mm red LEDs for the bussard. And what I did is I just took my Dremel and I drilled out just a little bit to fit the LEDs, and then I glued them in place. Now I'm going to go back through and I'm going to paint this black just to do light blocking. Even though we have this, this from the photo etch, it's great to start the light blocking, but I really want to make sure that none of this red will bleed back in. Also, you're going to need, if you're lighting the navigation strobes, you're going to need these, come on, focus, these 1.8mm LEDs. These things are phenomenal. I'm glad I found them. Resistors, and the resistors I use, and the resistors you get, I'll let you know at the end of the video so I can look it up and make sure you guys understand and get the right resistors. You'll need solder. This solder is electrical. It's a 6040 rosin core. I find it works really, really well. You can pick this up at your Home Depot for a decent price. Get you a good solder iron. I've had this one for about a year and it's starting to wear a little thin, but I picked this up at Home Depot also. The great thing is, explore your town and see where you can pick things up at. You know, if you have to order online, I'm a big fan of, you know, HDA Model Works, Cult TV Man, and Lighthouse LEDs, Madman Lighting. They take a lot of the work out for you. Madman Lighting, if you don't want to do any of the soldering and all that, if they have kits prepared, all you have to do is wire. Down the line, I would suggest buying this tool. This is a Vectec CB30M, and that's what I use to strip the wire. And for like on Madman Lighting, on their computer boards, their chip boards, you use this to just to twist the wire on. You don't have to do any soldering with them, so they make it really cool. So like I says, what we're gonna do is I'm going to show you how to wire up this LED strip tape. This LED strip tape I'm using is blue. I'm using it just so I don't have to paint the chiller grills. And you can find this pretty much anywhere. You can get it online. I get the tape. These little LEDs, it makes lighting really easy. You don't have to try to wire up a bunch of little bulbs. So definitely buy LED strip tape. You can find it any size, any voltage, not any voltage, but you can find it in different like warm clear, bright clear, which we're going to use the bright clear when we go and start lighting up the secondary hull and the lower saucer section. But the biggest thing I want to show you right now is what we're going to do for lighting a nacelle. So I like, there's a couple of different things. I'll show you how to add a resistor, and because I'm using Tenna Controls navigation strobe board, I do my wiring colors a little different for the strobes so I can keep everything separate. But for the basic overall, for the light tape, I use a red-black, and we'll get started. So basically what you want to do is you're always going to have waste. Just get ready for that, guys, because the worst thing is if you cut too short, you're not going to have enough to extend through the kit, and it's a pain in the butt if you have to add and then you have more connections. The best thing about lighting is you want as minimal amount of connections as possible. You don't want that power to have a place where it can break and bleed off. So basically, because I know when I put these two together, I want to have enough wire that I'll be able to run the LED light tape and the LED bulbs from my buzzard onto one circuit. And I'm going to do that also with the light tape that I'm going to add for the main window lighting, is all going to be on just one circuit. So you want to make sure you just have enough spare that you can wire them up and fit the pieces together. Again, you don't want it too long because then too much bulk in the inside of it. You don't want it too short because it's not enough to mess with. So what I do is I know what I'm going to do. I probably cut about 3 inches. Nice and simple. So what we'll do is we'll take it apart just a little bit. And the cool thing, like I said, about this tool, if you get one, is you just put it in here, pull it down, give it a couple of spins. I've used mine a lot, so it doesn't. You can actually just pull the wires most times, the outer skin, but then you just pull off. So I'm going to do this on the negative side. Maybe a little go. Again, just a couple of twists, and we'll pull the wire off. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So there you go. You have 2 good connections. Now when I'm soldering to the LED tape, I like just to make a quick little fold on the wire. Let's see if we can get it to focus for you guys. Just make a quick little fold. Just gives my solder a little more to bite to and all that. So all we do is just one little fold. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called pre-tinning. Basically is I'm just going to, what it is I'm just going to add a little solder to where I'm going to work. What this does is it allows you put your solder iron and put your wire down. It gives it something to grab immediately instead of trying to hold the solder, the wire, and everything. It becomes a mess. One last little tidbit before I do this. I would suggest you guys invest in this. You can pick them up at Hobby Lobby, online, whatever. This is a wiring and electrical setup. I don't know the actual name for it, the stand, but basically what it is it's 2 clamps, and I can pull things tight, keep what I'm working on off my workbench, and gives it raised up enough that I can do the job I need. So what we're going to do, I'm going to move stuff out of here. And the great thing about the LED light tape is gives you positive and negative. So like I said, we're going to pre-tin, and basically all you want to do is just touch your solder and get some of that solder onto your connection points. Now be careful, don't hold your solder against the tape too long. This is a circuit and you can burn through it, so you just want enough to get it done. The other thing is, guys, I would definitely suggest having a solder stand and invest in some sponge. You can pick these up at Walmart real cheap. Pick up the 2-pack, cut them into fourths. You want the sponge wet so you can wipe off the excess solder when you're done. So now that that's done, I've already pre-tinned it. I'm gonna lay my connections. Again, it's very simple, very basic. Let me see if I can zoom in here for you. Get you a better shot. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna touch the solder on the iron to the pre-tin already, and we're just gonna let it set. Okay, now as you can see, let it set, cool, got a great connection. Now what I like to do is I will go back, and whatever wire is exposed, I'll also take care of that. And as you can see, you hold it too long and you'll lose the connection. So we'll just go back in, and just like that. Let it cool, hold the wire until it cools, and then you're good to go. So now we'll do the positive. Sometimes you gotta move things around so you can hold the wire in place. Adjust your wire a little bit if you have to. Biggest thing is, you know, like I said, just making sure you hold it long enough to get a connection and let it cool. And then clean off your soldering iron. Sorry about that, guys. So now as you can see, it's connected. So I'm going to take it out of the clamps, and the next thing you want to do every time you make a connection or solder or wiring to lights, what I do just to test it is I'll use a 9-volt battery. I have this to test all my lighting, and then I have some connections to help check for light leaks. I'll show you those a little bit later, but you know, we'll strip the other side and go from there. Hold on, give me a second, guys. I should already strip this for you so we wouldn't be wasting time. Sorry, I guess I should be in the camera angle. Let me zoom back out here. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit more. Still learning all this camera work, guys, so bear with me. Getting better. I'm enjoying making these videos, so it's fun. So what we're gonna do is, now that we've got it stripped, we're gonna test out. So, you know, basically all you got to do is hold and see if it lights up, which it does. So that means our connection's good. So there is one piece done. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to lay it into the nacelle, and I put it in the upper one. I find out just working with these starships, the next generation style nacelles, that putting it in the top, it diffuses the light better. And with these LEDs, if you don't want to have to add cotton to help diffuse it even more, you can just put it in the top and it shines down, and you don't see each individual light. Like if you put it in the bottom and you're looking at the kit, you can see each individual light. So I like to put mine in the top. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to wire up a LED bulb without a resistor. So on these, I'm going to zoom in for you guys here real quick and see if I can get focused. Focus. Okay. If you ever notice when you buy these, the ends, one will be longer, one will be shorter. So the easiest way to remember which is always positive, long's positive, short's negative. One of the little tricks I use, because you get building a lot, is, okay, how do I remember? If you buy pre-made kits for lighting starships, like from Tenet Controls or Madman Lighting, all that, they'll show you. They'll remind you. But what I like to do is I'll wire a light and keep it for a reference point. So I know each time I go back, okay, long one's positive and the short one is negative. So basically it's the same way. I'm going to put my light in the clamp like so. Let's zoom out some more here. Oh, wrong way. So maybe zoom in a little bit more here. Here, let me switch sides here so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, there. Like I said, forgive. Like I said, I'm still learning. So here's my positive side. This is my negative side. Again, just for the inside of the lighting, I don't mind. You can use the same color wire because you can see what you're going to do. Again, just cut a piece off. Made mine about 2 inches, 2.5 inches. I'm gonna strip it, and we're gonna get it soldered on. So I'm gonna strip both ends. That way we can do the test right away, and you guys don't have to sit around and wait for me to go, why didn't you strip them both at the same time? Now, come on. Pull plastic off. Now there's different wires. If you go to Boyd's site, and when he talks about wiring, he has a different wire he uses. I suggest you guys, find what you like best. I like this. This is the first actual wiring I worked with when I decided to start lighting my kits. But I would watch other builders, see what they like to use, see what they find's best. When I start building the Voyager, I'm actually going to go with another technique, which is copper tape, to run my connections from the nacelles and all that. And that way I do less kit destruction when I'm lighting up those pieces. So again, we're just gonna fold it over. Actually no, strike that. We're not gonna fold this over. We want to keep it long because the more wire you get, the better connection. Might trim a little bit because you don't need a whole heck of a lot, but the more you do, the better. The bigger the connection, the better it is. I'm gonna adjust just a little bit here. Sorry if I get you guys motion sick. So again, what we want to do is we're gonna pre-tin the part we're gonna get ready to work on, and we're gonna do both sides, just to make it a little easier. Now, like I said, with this, this is where it gets fun, and I'm gonna try to do this so I can keep it in camera for you guys. Basically, all we're gonna do is, now that we got it pre-soldered, I'm just gonna drag it enough and let it get hard, let it cool down, and then if I have to, sometimes, yeah, the biggest thing you don't want is your connections touching. So sometimes pull them apart just a little bit. That's what I was running into right there, guys. So and let me adjust this a little bit. So there we go. Other times you can just do like what I'm fixing to do. Take the wire, split it apart. Makes it a little easier to work with. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make that connection run. Like I said, sometimes it's easier said than done. Takes practice. Just keep practicing, guys. And there we go. That's 2 connections done. Now the thing I will tell you with working this thin wire is you want to be careful how much you move the parts that you soldered, either down on the power side or right up to the LED. I did something wrong here. I was gonna put, see guys, started talking. We gotta add a resistor first, or I would have shorted this bulb out. That would have been something to watch. So we're gonna add the resistor first, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna zoom out. That's just getting a little hard to follow. I'm sorry, guys. See? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the resistor. Now what I do is when I add the resistor, I just take one side of the tape off because they come with taped ends, and now I'm gonna add the resistor. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Sorry about that. Okay, so resistor's added. Now because I lost some of the solder when I was doing that, I'm just gonna go back through, add a little more. Of course that's gonna fall off because I was adding some. Heated it up, melted everything. But there we go. Let it cool back down. Okay, now we have a good connection. Wow, guys, that was stupid of me. But we fixed it before I did anything really crazy. So now we are zooming out so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. Now we are set. So again, like I said, guys, one thing I will tell you adamantly to do is test, test, test. And as you can see, it works. So we know the resistor's good, we know the connections are good. There we go. Guys, like I said, just always test your connections. So what we're gonna do after this is I'm gonna finish getting everything soldered and ready to go. There's no point in making you guys sit through all of it. And when we come back, I'm going to show you how to lay it out in the nacelle. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay guys, welcome back. So everything's wired, everything's tested, everything works. So what you want to do is you want to get your pieces you're going to work with. And knowing that I want to put this LED strip tape down first, I'm going to work with my top section. So I'll take the bottom part of the nacelle, put it out of the way for now. Now, the big thing you want to remember when lighting nacelles, some of these strip tapes, you can only do sections of 3 LEDs. Some of them are 2, some of them are 4. Just depends on the LED strip tape you bought. This one I have is 3 LED lights in one section. So I found that 6 is pretty darn good for what I want to do. And what we want to do is we want to just lay it down, take a look at where we're going to fit. You want to make sure you stay inside of where the chiller grills are going to be, and also out of the way of where you're going to put your strobe light, your 1.8 millimeter bulb. So I just lay it down, take a look at what I want, and then I was like, okay, that works. Now the great thing is this is on tape, okay? So you can peel that backing off. And what this tape does, for the most part, just helps you get it set in place. I'm going to show you what we're going to do, guys, when we go back. So, that's one LED strip tape set just like we want. So we'll do the same thing with the other one. And we'll just lay it on the opposite side. Now I like using two. Gives it a little bit brighter effect. Definitely make sure it shows up. So there you guys go. So now as you can see, I have my two pieces of strip tape in, and the next step is we're actually going to combine. We're going to connect these two. Like I said, I know I was talking about a lot of connections and you can lose power, but also what you want to think about, guys, is when you're wiring, especially like nacelles, when you're going into pieces like this, from the nacelle down the neck, or not the neck, but the strut here, you only want to have the minimum amount of wires you can. You're not going to get a whole lot of power drain connecting them here and then connecting the two wires that are going to go out of your nacelle. With that said, you still always keep testing, keep testing, keep testing. I can't tell you guys enough how many kits that I have put together and tested before I glued and it was great, or thought it was great and I went ahead, well heck, I can go ahead and glue it, and guess what? Not. So what you want to do is all we're going to do is we're going to go black to black, red to red. No biggie. And then we're going to test it again. So I'm going to cut this down because we don't need that much wire, because what we're going to do is we're going to actually, in the end, is we need to be able to fold this without it touching and bring it back down the middle, not covering up any of the lights, because when we put this together and that lead wire is coming out, we want it close enough to the middle where we pre-drilled our exit hole and work it from there. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it. I'm going to stop the video, get this wired back up, get it trimmed down, and give you guys let you guys see that. I don't think I need to show you. It's pretty self-explanatory. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So just show you what I've done is I've trimmed these wires and I've connected them to each other. And basically, like I said, you just want to keep going back through and testing, making sure they work. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to glue this into the lower section, and when I get that done and run my wire through, I'm going to leave enough length on these to connect up to this. This is, like I said, is going to be one whole circuit, the buzzard and the chiller grill, or the red and the blue. And we're going to make tie this into one circuit, and then run the power, the positive and the negative will run out from the nacelle for all four of these lights. And then when we add the 1.8 millimeter strobe bulbs, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be on its own circuit. The biggest thing is when doing lighting like this, guys, with all this lighting that goes into a Starship, you want to make sure you have an ample enough power supply. I'm going to forewarn you right now, most of them you kind of probably want to plug in. A lot of my kits, I can run two 9-volt batteries, give me 18 volts, and it does great for Battlestar Galactica Vipers, the Pegasus ships, because you know I'm only running 4 or 5, maybe 7 LEDs, where on this I'm going to be running upwards to probably 50 to 60 or more, including the LED strip tape. As far as just individual LED bulbs, I don't have a whole lot, but the LED tape can take up and needs a lot of power to get that great bright effect. So what we're going to do now, guys, is I'm going to add on the bustard, get that pulled through, get it glued down, and let it set. When we come back, strike my last, I'm going to glue on the bustard, and I'm going to glue in the 1.8 millimeters. So when we come back this time, I'm going to show you how I connect it all together. We're going to add the chiller grills, which I've already pre-sanded. I pre-sanded the insides to help diffuse the light. And some kits you can, and I do suggest you go ahead and get the clear blue paint and paint these. But for this kit with the LED tape I'm using in the blue, I just didn't need to do that. So I'm not painting these. What I will do after I get touch-ups done, and some putting on the nacelles, because there's going to be some gaps that we're going to have to close up, and I can show you that later, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush copper on these. But I'm going to get everything in place, and then I'll come back and I will show you the final steps for putting all your wiring together and getting your nacelle closed up and ready for the last parts of the build that you're going to do for the nacelles. So I will see you guys in a few minutes. Hey guys, welcome back. I recorded a little bit, but for some reason it didn't take me recording showing you applying the leads leading out of the nacelle and testing it out and buttoning it up. Sorry about that. I thought it did. Basically all I did was took some strips of wire and then connected them to the parts on the inside, the circuits that I was making from the chiller grill, and the front bustard is one lead coming out, positive, negative, and then one circuit for my strobe lights, this one coming out. Again, you just, when you're putting this in, you want as minimum amount of wiring coming down as you can. So this video is probably going to be, it's going to be long. I really wanted to delve in and show you guys what I do for lighting. There's many techniques out there, there's many different styles. I encourage you to go research, see what style fits you best. This works for me. But the biggest thing I'm going to tell you is you just got to keep practicing, keep doing it. If you want to take that next step, you know, make a couple of different connections to begin with and test that out, and then work into going into bigger kits or lighting your first kit. You know, I really think lighting gives our kits that life that we're looking for. I mean, I enjoy it. I do almost all my sci-fi kits I light since I started lighting things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause real quick, and I'm going to hook it up so you guys can see the finished, what you're looking for when it's done. So be right back. Okay guys, so I made the connection so you can see. Real simple. This is what we're looking for. This is our effect. As you can see, the strobe lights, the blue, and the red bustard. So next time I'm gonna keep working on finishing etching out the windows on the upper and upper saucer, the neck, and the secondary hull, and I'll start running lights for that. I'm not gonna go through how to set up the connections again. I don't think you guys are gonna want to watch all that. So with that, next time we should be able to start putting more pieces together, and I'm going to touch up some things on these nacelles, and hopefully we can start showing you also how to lay down the decals. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. It's been fun, and I'll see you next time on the bench. Have a good weekend and a good week. Bye.